Hello, YouTubers. Hello, subscribers. Kisses to all of you. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining me and being a part of my station. Kisses to all my subscribers. Forgive me for calling you the F word yesterday. Fans, you guys are family and my subscribers, and I appreciate you. And I almost didn't post that video, but I was like, come on. I'm sure they're not caring about all that. Anyway, thank you. Little bit is feeling a lot better. She did not go to school today, but she will be hitting the road tomorrow. So, I don't have much. And the reason why I don't is for whatever reason. But Meghan is fading again. And I get why they're trying to pop her out a lot now. Like, because if they don't pop her out, then she won't be talked about. But even though she pops out over here, she may be in like a small corner of the news, but she's not in like, oh, wow, Meghan came out today kind of news. No, she doesn't get that much attention. And like the Invictus and stuff, normally when you're in the UK, I'm sure they're advertising it, having like, a big to-do about it. The only thing Harry has is us and the UK and those that are interested. That's all I can say about that. Let's move on. I'm going to read through my notes and then I'm going to play something, I think. Let's see how it goes. So I just want to throw this out here. I watch other YouTube channels and for various reasons. And but I learned that most of them, they say, I don't watch anybody else's station. And I said to myself, okay, I said, how would any station do good if nobody watched? So I watch other people's stations, and if I enjoy it, every now and then I might give them a super sticker or of course I'm going to subscribe. But what I found interesting is that those that say like and share are not even doing that themselves. I find that strange. I'm going to leave that there because I don't want anyone thinking that I need publicity. I think 2,800 subscribers is a lot to me, and it's a little intimidating. And so anything more than that scares the hell out of me, honestly. And so I don't need it. But what I'm saying is that, whatever. Who cares? Anyway, moving on. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper had a sit down with Harry at one point, and he was saying that Anderson Cooper asked him, well, is there anything in your repertoire, Harry, that would make you feel like you would need to apologize for something that you did? And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying what they said verbatim, so work with me. And Harry responds and says, no, and something about he'll be willing to hear it, but no one said anything about his behavior, or no one said anything about anything. I find that very hard to believe that they didn't take offense to everything Harry and Meghan were doing and have been doing for the last, since she stepped on the scene. But he tells Anderson Cooper, like, I'm not at fault for anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I just told my truth. I just said what happened to me. But this was during the time that Harry was expecting an apology. And I was at Lady C's house earlier. That's why, where I got a little bit of this information, why I'm bringing this up. So he's acting like he needs them to tell him what he did. And I said, I'll tell him. You need help? Harry is pretending that he didn't do anything wrong and that he needed explanation as to what he did. As to what he did that would make them be upset with him. I said, I can tell you, Harry. Start off with what you're doing right now, sitting on Anderson Cooper's show, talking about the very people that you used to love or claim that you love. And I can go on and on and on. But I'll just stop there. If he needed a reason. What about, ever since you married this woman, you've been on a crusade to take us down. Why are you trying to kill us, Harry? What are we going to do when you and Meghan get through taking down the Commonwealth and taking down the dynasty that your grandmother built? That your grandmother cultivated and kept strong for 90 plus years. And now you and your tramp come in and decide, oh, let's take it down. And then you don't know, you're confused. Anyway, I didn't come on here to lecture or rant. Sorry, my phone was dying. Okay, hold on, guys, just a second. All right, I think we're good. Hopefully. Okay, so yes, I'm not going to be ranting and going on into that. So no, I just thought I would answer the question for Harry since he wasn't sure. I wrote this down. I said, Harry's wife has convinced him that he is the victim. And this entire family are the adversaries. They're the mean ones. They're out to get Harry and his wife. Why would people that loved you and cared for you and did all this stuff for you, Harry, want to deliberately sabotage you in your love for Meghan? Harry, A, is either, I believe, is seriously brainwashed. I really do believe that. And B, just don't care. I just think he felt like Meghan's love was going to be enough. Moving on. So, remember a long time ago how I used to talk about how Harry lost his father when Meghan tells us Harry lost his father in this process? I went and looked it up. It was just weird to me how she was so ready to write off her father and now write off Harry's father. Because she was so comfortable with telling us that Harry had lost his father in this entire process. What process? Say it. Harry has lost his father in this process, meaning you, Meghan, because you're the process. You are what happened to him as to why you claim that he lost his father. No, you happened. What process? What circumstances? You were whining. You were complaining about you couldn't make it in the UK and that all this other stuff and that you had to get the hell out of there. And every other day there was a new reason. First it was the media. Then she was lonely. Then she was suicidal. Then, the royals threw her out the castle. Then come to find out they were trying to keep them in. It just depends. Meghan has told so many lies that she wouldn't be able to have a conversation with me. Oh, no. Meghan would not be able to have a real conversation with anyone that would challenge her. I'm just saying. Because I have questions. Because what I don't understand is why she thought it was okay for Harry to lose his father in this process, as if it was okay to do. That's okay. I know I left off somewhere, but I want to go back. I do. I want to talk about what I was talking about before this, because I knew I had something else I needed to say. When Harry tells Oprah that, and I don't even know if I said this, because, but I'm talking about it now. So let's get to this piece. When Harry tells Oprah that him and Meghan needed to do this so that they can make money. On her show, he says the reason why we're on here and all of this is because we didn't get security and we didn't get what we want. We don't have any money. So this is the reason why we have to do this. This is our money-making machine. And my thought was, nobody had a problem with you doing a docuseries and going on the Oprah show. It was what you said. It was that you thought it was a good idea to go on the Oprah show and trash your families with an S and everybody else that you know, and thought that that was a good, what the producers was telling you needed dirt? Was Netflix saying this ain't good enough? I'm not paying you $100 million if you don't bring it. But you had already damaged yourself on the Oprah show, so the docuseries was just a piece of icing on the cake, and then the spare book was just like, okay, what the hell? But no, the thing was that no one told him, I'm about to take these lashes off. No one told Harry to go in on his family and start trashing his family on the Oprah show and on Netflix. So that's what they thought they needed to do to make millions of dollars. They okay. Moving back to Meghan and Harry losing his father, just a moment. My thought, okay, I'm going back to when Meghan told us that Harry lost his father in this process. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I would be devastated as a newlywed to know that my father-in-law and my husband are not getting along because of some things that I probably have done. Okay, guys, listen. I am not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Hold on. Anyway, soon and very soon. So, I mean, I would have been like, oh my God, whatever. But she was so ready to tell their story and tell everyone how Harry had lost his father in this process. I don't remember her going into the process. How? Explain it to us, Meghan. Explain it to us how Harry lost his father in this process. Was it when you decided that you guys wanted to come to America? Was it after the Oprah show? At what point did Harry was supposedly had lost his father in this process, this thing that you created, this firestorm of a disaster? That I will never forget her saying. She said it, I heard her say it. He lost his father. And Harry's father is not dead. And for her to put him in the grave pissed me off a little. Because who are you to tell someone else that they lost something that they never lost? Harry told me, no. Eventually, he probably should have been going down the list. I lost my father, I lost the Queen, I lost my grandfather, I lost my brother, I lost Catherine, I lost everything that I love For you, he should have went down the list. That process. Whose idea was it to leave the UK? Whose idea was it to come to Montecito and start a brand? Whose idea was it to invite all of those celebrities to the royal wedding? If this is the thing, if you don't know the story by now, that little piece about his father dying. And this is the thing, she was so quick to kill off hers that she didn't care about Harry's. She had killed the fathers off. Look, Harry, I lost mine. You kicked yours to the curb. You told him to get the hell and said, you are not walking me down the aisle. First of all, Daddy, you wasn't never going to do that. I was going to come up with something, but you was never coming. And a paparazzi picture is not a reason why someone shouldn't show up. Look at the crap Meghan has done. The nerve of her to point the finger at anyone. You did this, Daddy, you did that. It was interesting to see her point the fingers. And I have a list. I want to do a deep dive just on the blaming series. I do. So I did post something in my community, and I asked you guys to list all the things that she has been blaming others for. Everything. I put Spotify. Some of you went ahead and gave me some more information. One of you told me it was Samantha. Oh, thank you, subscriber. Said that Meghan blamed her sister. She blamed her sister Samantha that the reason why she couldn't invite Ashley to the wedding was because of they. That's two blaming in one. That's two. She did a two blame at one time. She blames Samantha, and then she rolls over and blames the palace, the Commonwealth, everybody up in there, the royals, for now allowing her to invite, Ashley because of what it might look like. I think it was the other way around. I believe the Queen said, look, this looks funny. You got all these A-listers up in here that you know nothing about, and one family member. I would have been like, I don't want them to think that we don't want them here. Invite your family. Show us what you're working with. Come on, what it would look like. Like they were trying to hide her family. No, Meghan, you're trying to hide your family. It's not, now that we see the light bulb has come on. It never was, we knew that from the beginning. That was a lie. We knew it was never them that was trying to keep her family away because they felt like they wasn't dignified. It was Meghan on the docuseries that it comes out of her mouth that her family on this side and that side wasn't dignified enough to come to England to see her walk down the aisle. She says on the docuseries that she blames it. This kills me. Hold on to your seats. She treats people like crap, and she showed us on the docuseries. You don't need to see anything else to show you who Meghan is. Watch the show. The show shows you. Meghan gets on there and does exactly what I say, and then treats her family like they ain't good enough to be there, because that's how she treats those old friends of hers. Remember, the ones that they have interests. They no longer are, on the same path. So she had to kick them to the curb and get her new celebrity friends, according to this new article that has come out. So this is what she was doing. She was kicking her old family to the curb, boop, and going on with her new royal family because they had more to offer, bloop. And then when she was ready for her shenanigans to break free to go back to Hollywood to get to Hollywood, you know the story. Let's go back because she and I know I didn't switched it. I switched it. The blaming of it all. She blamed Samantha. Then she blamed everyone in the palace. That was a lot of blaming going around in that one little nook that I did. I said nook. In that one little nook of hers, that one little strategy thing she had going on, this is how I'm going to play this. I'm going to kill all these stones at once. And so she, you know, that was a big blame. That was a big blamer. I'm going to blame my sister, and I'm going to blame the palace and say they didn't really want you guys there in the first day. It wasn't me. It wasn't me that didn't want to invite my family. You can invite anybody you want to, and you chose to invite people that you didn't know, and then you blame someone else for not inviting the real family. So you can look like you're the good one. It wasn't really you. They gave you any and everything you wanted for your wedding. They gave her everything. Her wedding was more than Catherine's. She's not the queen. But okay, let her have it. And guess what? It still wasn't good enough. It didn't satisfy her. What kills me is that all that renovation they was doing, she knew when they were renovating and all that she was finna get ready to go. Okay, I'm done with that. I don't want to talk about that no more. Let's move on. I want to say this about her, killing off Harry's father and hers. She's trying to make similarities to Harry's father to hers. How she lost hers in a situation and he lost his. How did Harry lose his father? Meghan, you never explain that to us. You leave that to our imagination. So my imagination goes to you. Your stuff. I said that already, but moving on. My point is that there's no similarities. There's none. She had already killed her father off from the beginning. We talked about that. He wasn't coming to the wedding. She didn't send no car for him. She didn't have him no plane ticket. She wasn't doing all that for her daddy. Listen, you can be mad at someone and still love them. You can be mad at them and not want to have anything to do with them and still love them. But she cuts him smooth off. And she doesn't realize the pain that she caused because people love her, care about her, they trust her, they like her, and they trust. And then she treats him like, get out of my face. You're not worthy. I'm not calling this family. This family is not good enough to be at my wedding. Make it the A-lister, so this is where I'm going to be. Harry, check it. He saw that. Whatever you want, Meghan. It's whatever you want. You're going to see that at the wedding, that he was giving her whatever she wanted from the beginning. That he was whipped, sick, and sunk. And Harry was gone in the Lulu land. But this is good. It's a little softer. Husband opened that bottle. Moving on. And I know I talked about this before. Let me get to it because I had a lot. Let's move on. Okay. I do want to mention this. For some reason, I brought up the Way to Katie thing again. And this is what I want to say about that. And I know I've said this before. Is that how disrespectful, how rude of her to think that that would have been okay to say on the Oprah show. And half the things that they did to the entire family. Like, it's like, it was weird that she didn't know that she would get this kind of backlash, as if what she was saying was anything that was positive. It was all negative. She didn't say not one nice thing or good thing. It wasn't that they went on this crusade to take down the monarchy. Yes, that is one. But they didn't even, listen, she could have done it in a very tasteful way without all the drama and still made the money. But obviously, she's not talented enough to do it. No, she went everywhere and she made a out of herself, a butt face out of herself. And this is the results. She's trying to pick up the pieces. And everybody's starting to feel sorry for her. Like, Tessa, she wants us to forgive Meghan and move on. She thinks they have learned something. And that's the question I have for Tessa. So once we let go and be like, oh, let Meghan back in and say, oh, we love you again, we'll support you and all this other stuff, then what? She continues to be this person that we talk about, and she gets to get away with all of it and being nasty and despicable and making millions off of it and treating people. Real people got hurt. It's okay. Sweep it under the rug. That's what we call sweep under the rug. When you let it like under the rug and nobody can see it and we're good to go. Moving on. I had said this about the father element because Meghan doesn't think that she's done anything wrong. And that's interesting because Tessa wants us to forgive her and all these people want us to be like, okay, let's leave them alone. And then, you know, you have no accountability forever. And then she says stuff like, Harry lost his father in this process, but she takes no responsibility that she wasn't in part of the process that took it down. He didn't just lose his father, Meghan. That's selfish. This is a self-centered, selfish, self-indulgent self. I've never seen a self this before. I've never seen it on this level before. It's everyday constant. I can't find one thing to say that she's not done something unless she's done it for herself. Everything is done for a reason, and it's either for money or publicity, but it is not for the person that is receiving it on the other end. Meghan is so fake. And you're wonderful. No, Meghan, no. You won't even pick up the phone and call your father. Okay, moving on. Okay, I do have to talk about this real quick. There was an article that talked about how Meghan is done with those other friends. I love it. I love the article because they're supposed to be speaking on behalf of Meghan. Her spokesperson has said this. This doesn't make her look better. She's done with those old friends. I'm paraphrasing. She has different interests and different, and some of you, my subscribers, have pointed this out too. You know, she has different interests. She wants to do different things. And so she's left those friends to make new. That's a bunch of hogwash. Nope. When you always got to make excuses for someone and for yourself, something's wrong. She makes excuses for everything that she does. She makes excuses for Archie Wells, that whole thing, the Spotify. She making excuses about her friendships, excuses about how she didn't make it in the UK, and we know why now. Every time she makes there's all these excuses as to what happened, and that she's a startup. It's a startup charity, and things like this happens. If I would be that manager, would look her in her face and say, "Listen, every time you step to my face, you have an excuse." And I said, you have an excuse for everything, every failure. And you're not taking any accountability that you could have did something different to make it better. But it's someone else's fault, or, the heir. The friends, she's done with those. They're not intellectual enough to speak to her anymore. I'm done with the D-listers. I'm done. What was she trying to say, that she hangs out with normal people because she was with her hairdresser? No, it makes us think that that's all the friends she has is the people that do her hair. Trust me, my nail lady, we're best friends. I'm going to her baby shower it's not Saturday. Okay, we're just having a chat, honestly. Because Meghan's not in the news. There's nothing really to chat about. Honestly, this is just information that's been out there that I like to talk about. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. Okay, here's something that Neil Sean, our guy, I hope I'm saying his name right, and Lady C said, but Neil Sean said this. He says, this pissed me off. This almost sent me on a rant. He said that Meghan and Harry explained to King Charles and Elizabeth that they were not going to exploit or say or do a docuseries where it was going to be damaging. I'm paraphrasing. They told them that. Word on the street is that they assured them, and Doria, I heard Doria too. He said Doria, Meghan, and Harry assured them that they were not going to be doing something in that docuseries that would, bring about all of this. Everything that's bad. And sure enough, it did exactly what they thought it was going to do. And what happens when you say you're going to do something and then you lie to the people that you say you're going to do it to? You lose trust. And if you could lie about that, you'll lie about anything. I don't trust you anymore. And so therefore the royal family, and they don't trust them. And I see why. And that's why they have to handle them very carefully. Because Harry grew up with William. I'm sure Harry's got a whole bunch of more stories to tell. Meghan doesn't. She's out. She didn't stay in there long enough to get enough juice. Meghan did not stay in there long enough to get enough information to be out here talking. No, she was only married to him for 15 minutes in the UK, and they wasn't even in the royal family. They was in a small little cottage away from everything, and then they left. Okay, I'm done with that. This is true, and I do believe this. If they want, instead of, because Meghan's not going to call her dad. If she does, I'll be shocked. However, their only way back is through the royal family. That's it. It's not going to be Meghan's Tig and Meghan's branding. She's making it worse. Because she's putting Band-Aids on wounds, and she's not even putting a Band-Aid on it. She's just putting salt on it. Shh, here I am. Look at me. However, Lady C says the summit that Harry really needs, he does. He needs to get a connect back with his family. They need thrown a bone. And that would be a bone to see the connection, to see it. But I don't think the UK is wanting that. I think it would piss people off to see him being friends with the traitor. And so, I don't know how that's going to work, Lacey. But I do believe that that is a way. So I wanted to give you guys a list of the so I wanted to give a list of the blaming, but I want to do it when I get a bigger list. But I'm just gonna name it. The friendships that she lost, she blames it on. It's not her fault. Spotify, it's not her fault. They didn't give her enough direction. The Beckhams, she blames them for doing stupid stuff. William and Catherine, it's their fault that she left because of them. She was taking the limelight away from them. She was too important. It was Catherine's fault doing the bridesmaid dresses, the tiara, the leaking of the stories. She blamed them for her suicidal, for being lonely, for I'm gonna say Brexit, Beckham's, Mexit. She blames the royal family for not giving her security. I mean, I said the sister part, the car chase. I mean, those are just some. And I know I have a lot more than that because I talked about that. Anyway, I want you guys to hear this segment. It's 10 minutes long, so I'm going to try to cut it short as possible. Okay.
Is this coming in for the cold? What do you read into it?
Well, and Kinsey will be hot off the coals because she's stateside where they've just released this big tell-all or tell-more documentary on Andrew, including interviews with Emily Maitlis, who, of course...
Okay, I'm going to fast forward that this is about Andrew, and Tessa has something to say about it. And so does Kinsley. But Kinsley Schofield inserts Meghan and Harry into it. And she says that she pretty much puts Andrew's reputation worse than Meghan and Harry's. I beg to differ. And so, but I want to move on down to this question. Here we go.
Hillary as well, and talk about the Prince Harry element in this, because Tessa began by saying it's sort of almost like an own goal being scored. You know, we had Harry heading over to Singapore. He's playing in a polo match. He got criticism for that. He's now, I believe, back in Montecito. But this idea that he was going to print peace talks with King Charles, and that's now off the agenda. Do you think we are going to see any sort of reconciliation?
Well, pleasure to be back with you again, and good afternoon.
She doesn't answer the
Same
question.
time as you mentioned, evening there. But a few things. The biggest news, actually, with regard to Harry is something that the mainstream media, and I don't know whether it's just that it's not quite public yet, the biggest news is with regard to Edward Long. Edward Long was referred to in Prince Harry's sort of damn-all autobiography, throwing the royal family under the proverbial bus. He was referred to as the Bee. He is one of the courtiers. He was very loyal for many years to the Queen, our late beloved Queen. Now, King Charles has honoured him. He now will be Lord Young, and he now will be taking on royal events for the king in his absence. So in absentia, he will be made in the position of king. What does this mean? This literally
is
taking sides. It's saying who matters. It's saying who has been dedicated to duty. And it is not at all, obviously, what Prince Harry would ever have wanted. So I think now
I'm sure he's pissed.
Definitely where the lines are being drawn. Now, the king, of course,
Promotion?
has a big heart. Obviously, most fathers would love to reconcile with their son. But I think this is a huge move we're seeing with regard to Lord Young.
I think
Tessa.
You make an interesting point, Hillary, but in perhaps some ways you put two and two together and you make five. Harry is not a working member of the royal family. The likelihood of him rubbing up against Lord Long in the near future or the distant future is pretty minimal. And actually, what needs repaired within the royal family are those personal relations between William, Charles, and Harry. And I think we've spent too long as a media, and I include all of us, lobbing criticism back at the Sussexes, at Andrew. These guys, really, they're pretty irrelevant when it comes to the state institution that is the monarchy. How do we go forward and future-proof that monarchy that I think all of us here believe in, and make sure that things like Mexit, as people refer to it, or the Prince Andrew debacle that keeps on bleeding, as Kinsey put it, don't happen again. And that, I believe...
Okay, so she's slow. She is. She's slow. Because there you go. There's her supporters. There's that Sussex squad crapola. Because you just ran down theirs, but you didn't talk about what Harry did. You didn't talk about Spare, Oprah, and Netflix and the rest of that, Tessa. But you wanted to bring up, let's just hear it again, this little bit.
How do we go forward and future-proof that monarchy that I think all of us...
Okay, she wants to go forward. Tell your team over there that they need to stand down, Harry and Meghan, and they need to start apologizing and making some admission that to the family, not to the family, that, I made a mistake. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Oops. But no, Tessa and some of these are out. Sussex squad is ready for the media and everybody else that had that, I liked her in the beginning, but don't want us to come back to the other side and start being their friends and supporting them too and healing. And I'm all about forgiveness. Okay? Yes. I'm all about it. Remember when Meghan said she was? No, you're not. It should show traces of it. You should see it. There should be residuals of it. And she hasn't called her father and apologized. She hasn't called King Charles and apologized. She's entitled. Everybody else is wrong. So, Tessa, as we continue to see the duo just keep pushing on this Titanic that has already went down, but they still pushing it in denial, then it's going to continue to look like this. But not even like this. It's hard to like someone like Meghan and Harry with all that they have done. It's hard to pick a picture and be like, oh, wow, she looks great, doesn't she? No, that's not what most people do. Most people go in there and they analyze and be like, oh, that's wrong, and that's wrong. But in reality, if they cared a little bit about her, they'd be like, okay, she looks good, and you move on. But that's not happening, Tessa. Meghan, they must listen.
Here believe in, and make sure that things like Mexit, as people...
Yeah, it wasn't. Okay, she did say something about it. Okay. Mexit is real. She did do that. It was a perfect, beautiful name for a perfect situation. And she should own it because that's exactly what she did. If she wants to be this rebel, you Mexit it. You got the heck out of there. You hit the road as soon as you had the spare air. Oh, that's right. You hit the road. You said, I'm out of here. Give me my name, give me my status, give me whatever that's due to me so I can take it with me and go back to the United States. I don't get security in the United States. Harry told her that from the beginning when she was begging to come to the United States. Come out, she was going to Africa and Canada. No, you wasn't. You were trying to figure out how you were going to get back over here to these A-listers. And so you was crying to Tyler Perry and Oprah on how to get here. And so they tried to help you out because you were the damsel in distress. Now they realized that you were a fraud trying to get ahead. Well, now Oprah knows. Maybe Oprah's looking in the mirror and seeing herself. Because that Maui situation was just tacky. She was the only one over there looking stupid, trying to be patted on the back because she didn't lay down a pillow, write a check, Oprah. Here's the insult. I'm going to wait until the dust settles, and then I'm going to give some money. Them people that you giving pillows out to, Oprah, are not waiting for the dust to settle. They're waiting on that check that you got, that you have, that you said that you were going to give. I know I'm talking tall mess because I ain't the one that's writing the check. But still, she the one said it. She was the one that was over there handing out pillows. She the one inserted herself into something. So she could get patted on the back and say, hey, look at Oprah, the savior. And then she act like she was finna cry. Cry, get it out, let it out. Yeah, it's just everybody here is doing, let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, everybody here is just doing, so I went and I got pillows, and I went and got pillows and shampoo and some other toiletry things. But honestly, everybody here is doing a great, like she was getting an Academy Award. Sit down, Oprah. I think she's in some trouble. I don't think her fan base is as strong as it. She is beloved by many, but hopefully Oprah just stays on the up and up all the way through, and she's not into any of that scandalous stuff. But, ooh. Moving on. Tessa.
People refer to it, or the Prince Andrew debacle that keeps on bleeding, as Kinsey put it, don't happen again. And that, I believe, requires root and branch reform that we could push for in the press, that we could properly get down and dirty and look at what's working for that state.
I disagree with her. All of a sudden, Meghan's this person. We need to start changing laws and doing stuff. No, I don't believe it. Give me more examples. I need better examples than giving this example of what we need to do. But I just think she's full of it.
Institution monarchy.
Sorry, I'm not a fan.
Instead, we go in for this soap opera sideshow. Ooh, look what Charles is.
Like she ain't a part of the SARS. Tessa, somebody needs to put in the comments. Let me do it right now. You are a part of the show. She's a part of the show.
He's appointed a man that Harry won't like. And it's actually, I don't think, helpful for anyone.
Let's bring in Kinsey.
Lord,
go on, Hillary, I'll give you a chance to respond. Go on.
Yes, Lord Young, not Long. I think it's very important to see the continuity. I think it's very important to see what does matter. And I think this is a great move in terms.
So, let me just, because I know I've been interrupted. Tessa kind of was telling her that ain't nobody looking at that stuff. And so she's coming back. Well, she didn't really say that. She said, let's stop looking at the soap opera of it all. She said, you can say what you want to say, but it's important to note. Let me let her tell you what so she's coming back to let Tessa know. No, that's not what we're going to do.
Let's bring in Kinsey. Lord, go on, Hillary, I'll give you a chance to respond. Go on.
Yes, Lord Young, not Long. I think it's very important to see the continuity. I think it's very important to see what does matter. And I think this is a great move in terms of what does matter. This is a great move in terms of what does matter. And of course, Prince Harry isn't working anymore as a senior royal due to his own decision. Yes.
Kinsey, want to bring you back.
Let me help you. She says this is important because it is sorry about the bra, guys. This is important. It's important because Harry made it noted in his book to talk about him, and King Charles has promoted him to something great. Now, you can say what you want to say, Tessa. She said, but that is something to be, noted. And also need to be noted is that your guy, Prince Harry, the puppet, Meghan's puppet, stepped down. He is no longer a working royal. As a matter of fact, his HRHs was taken off the website. That's big news. I don't care if they're in a vault. Somebody... You know what? I have the best subscribers in the world. Let me tell you something. If you ever get a channel, the best part of this entire thing is you. Now, one of you said, you told me, you said that, which you guys are scholars. Oh my God, that the HRHs is something that will never be taken away from Harry. Parliament would have to take them, but he can't use them. He doesn't supposed to use them because he's not a working royal. Okay, so it's in a vault. let's say it's over there in a corner. So if he ever starts working again, I guess they can pull him out. The point is that Harry's on the website is not HRH anymore. They are losing. Meghan is becoming obsolete. She is, especially in the United States, and taking away the HRHs and removing Harry and Meghan from the scene together. Let me tell you something. It was a very slow news today. It's never been this slow. Meghan is becoming this. It's gonna fade eventually. It is. She needs King Charles's bone. He needs to be begging his daddy for forgiveness. He's going to need that. You know why? Because she's going to be, I believe Meghan's going to be asking him after this Tig debacle. Check this out. Because Meghan still thinks that she's got it going on. And when you think you got it going on, you don't need to grovel and say sorry to no one. So this is what I believe. I believe Meghan's waiting for her Tig moment to come out or whatever. And this is just my assumption. And if it happens, then I'll refer back to this video later. But Meghan is hoping that she can make it on her own. I want to make it on my own. I don't want Harry's help. I don't want the royals' help. I'm going to make it on my own. I'm going to do this myself, which is stupid. Because you need them. You need them for us to care. I would rather for you to be in UK sipping a wine than being in the United States sipping a wine, talking about buy this one. Anyway, she needs the royal connection. Without the royal connection, Meghan is the nobody. And it is obvious she is being erased. They are being erased. Okay.
Back in on this and ask about the other gentleman involved in probably a lot of these proposed peace talks and decisions. Prince William, the brother of Prince Harry, quote, feels utterly betrayed by what Harry wrote about him in his book Spare and said about him on Netflix. They were very close growing up. It's been very painful for him, of course. Do you think he is having an outsized role in this proposed reconciliation?
Well, that's certainly what the Daily Beast is reporting. The Daily Beast is reporting that he is the one that stepped in and said that absolutely not. They were not going to have peace talks with Prince Harry. That, you know, that incident that happened right after.
Okay, hold up. So, because I remember yesterday we were having peace talks. We were going to talk about how we were going to come together. That has changed. So, according to Lindsay, I like calling her Lindsay. Someone said that's not her name. Oh, sometimes I don't like to be corrected. Sometimes I love it. Kinsley Schofield is saying that Prince William said, oh no, tell Harry to step back. This is not happening right now. We are not ready for him. And I believe that. And this is why. Because all that I said like 30 or 40 minutes ago, there's no trust. He doesn't trust Harry. And as long as he's with Meghan, he doesn't trust her. And until that gets disconnected, and one of you said, well, he could do it again. Well, let him. But for right now, it's her that they don't trust her. And so they're one. Harry and her are one because Harry can't speak for himself. He can't think for himself. If Harry could think and speak for himself, we wouldn't be here. This is for those that think it's more Harry than Meghan. But honestly, they're like, there's just what I just said. They're one together. You can't separate the two. You can't separate Spare from Meghan. And you can't separate Meghan from Spare. And vice versa from the Oprah show. She's connected to everything, even when she wants to split. Let me go back. I went too deep. I wanted to talk about... I forgot. Let's get back to Lindsay Schofield. But anyway, he doesn't trust his brother. He's intervening. He's saying no. This is the story, guys. Catch it. Harry wants peace talks with his brother. Why? Because they've been taken off the website. Because Meghan doesn't have any more deals. They're not calling her. She doesn't have any friends. People are not talking about her as much as she would like for them to, even though she keeps coming outside. The stories of her personality and who she is keeps popping up more so than how great she is, because WME is pushing them stories extremely hard, but are they making a dent? I've been asking those questions. Has she been able to move the needle? Is she becoming popular? She needs that before she launches her TIG. Anyway. And I believe she needs that royal connection. Somebody do, even if it's not her. But William said, this is a trick. I believe William thinks this is a trick. This is them trying to trick us. William's done. Until they stop with their shenanigans, until they stop with their vision board and everything they want to do with their life and how it helps them become whatever. William's done. He's just not playing these games with Harry and his wife. No. I believe William was running around in his mind saying, Harry's running around playing house with this woman. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yes, he probably does want to have a chit chat, but he ain't serious, because if he was serious, he'll be trying to figure out how he gonna get away from the problem. And the problem is Meghan. Unfortunately, this is one of those marriages that is probably not going to survive, and the kids are going to be separated, and that hurts because it sucks. It sucks for the kids. That's the only reason why I would even want these two to stay together. But regardless, the point is that William's a no-go.
The Daily Beast is reporting that he is the one that stepped in and said that absolutely not. They were not going to have peace talks with Prince Harry. That, that incident that happened right after Prince Philip's funeral, that private moment where Prince William was begging him to please listen to him and his father, ends up in, the first chapter of Spare.
Wow. So Prince William and King Charles are begging Harry to listen. And at the same time, it's in the book. Stuff like this make me want to I read the book. I read it as best I could. I did. I didn't get this part, obviously. But it's interesting to know that they were begging him, Harry, please don't do this. Please don't put out a documentary. Please don't do this. They begged him. And what did he do? He went on with the go on. But this is that stupid stuff. Then Anderson Cooper. Let's go back to Anderson Cooper in the beginning. When Anderson Cooper asked him, Harry, do you have anything that you need to apologize for that you think that you might be guilty for? And he looks around like he don't know. Well, here's one, Harry. When your brother and your father begged you not to do, but begged you not to do it. And you went ahead and did it anyway. You sit the hell with them, but then you're pretending like you don't know what you're pretending like you don't know of what reason you would have to be able to apologize. Please ask anyone. They'll tell you. How about dissing the Queen for her? He gave it. The one person that I thought Harry would listen to would be the Queen or his brother. And he did neither. And now he's paying. He ain't began to pay for it. Harry ain't in that space right now. Because he's in between. He's still trying to please Meghan. That's why he's trying to talk to his brother and stuff so they can be friends and help. Because Meghan and them need help. Listen, they ain't gonna be, okay, I could be wrong. Maybe they have enough for Montecito. But if I had enough, I wouldn't be trying to do a TIG.
That's a complete violation of their privacy. And, you know, I do believe that Prince William would likely prefer to keep a distance from Prince Harry at this point in time. The Sussex brand is toxic, and I don't think he trusts them.
Go on, Tessa.
Well, I hear this, and I totally understand between siblings it can get really personal. But what you have with the institution of monarchy...
See, here she go, Tessa, slimming it down to William, as if she didn't hear nothing. You know, like she didn't hear what the First Lady said about King Charles and how he promoted that new gentleman in a spot that Harry should have had. Not because he stepped down and he wrote him in the book, but Tessa just rolls right over that. Then, now she's singling it to William. That, oh yes, I can understand why he's upset. Okay, let's finish.
It's a state gaffe, and through those fault lines runs a family. And sometimes William...
Well, don't you think that he should have thought, honey... Mommy. Oh, look, what did I do? I was getting candy, getting food. Yeah, I had to get the baby for just a second. Sorry. Yeah, and I gotta go soon because, yep. Mommy duty calls. Listen, I don't have a nanny. Okay.
Has to be encouraged to sit back, to take a bigger view and think what looks best for monarchy. What's actually going to work in terms of the monarchy going forward? His father is defender of the faith. He's meant to be a leading Christian. That's meant to be about forgiveness, about reconciliation, and I would like to see that from our monarchy, please.
How dare she? How dare she put them in a situation where, you know, first they're a family, then she turned them into a monarchy. Pick one. The family side said, hold up. We love you. We care about you. We'll chit-chat with you when we can. But you coming over trying to eat dinner and stabbing us in the back, that ain't happening. And they are looking at the monarchy. They're protecting it from Harry and Meghan because they realize how dangerous they are when they're running around loose lips talking about something is racist. Tessa. And see, they forget. Let's tell you something. No, you can't just sweep that under the rug and say, oh, racism, put it under there for a moment and let's move on. There was real damage going on there with that. And then for it to be not true is really just, you know, and you can say, well, maybe she felt racism. She didn't feel anything because she wasn't even there. No, Tessa, it starts with Harry and Meghan. Some accountability from there. Stop trying to skip around the problem and deal with the problem. And the problem, Tessa, is Meghan and Harry. And if they want to reconcile with the monarchy / family, then that's what they need to do. But that's not what they're trying to do. If they were, then this wouldn't be going down the way it is. It wouldn't. And so now she's putting it back on. Which part you putting it on, Tessa? The family or the monarchy? Neither one should budge because they are protecting it. Let's see what someone else says. They are protecting it by keeping these two away, in my opinion.
Kinsey?
But do you not feel like it makes the entire monarchy look weak to take absolute kicks in the teeth between Netflix?
Weak is not a bad thing. I don't consider weak bad because, shoot, I just showed you my finger and it's toe up from the floor. That's why we had to go short. But I need to get my nails done and I'm going to tell her, listen, we got to go a little bit longer than this. We got to, they growing up. Anyway, I don't think it makes them look weak. I just think and some of you may think this, that they befriend them or whatever. I don't think so. There's a fine line, because first of all, if I was William, I'll still be on the phone cussing Carrie out every other night, talking about, give me the phone. Is he back on there? No, I will be constantly reminding Harry of what he's done, what he's doing, and so forth. He would always hear from me. And it wouldn't be no peace talks. It would be, traitor, you got this tramp. William can't say that, because then he'll run back and tell his brother. But what I will tell him is that, no. If you need a reminder of what you did, go watch your shows. Harry, the dignified way that William could remind Harry of what he's done, since they have amnesia, and Tessa and Sussex Squad just don't even care. This is interesting to me, is how do you have a conversation with someone and talk about the issue and then talk about something else, or just change just stupid stuff? What happened to Ernest? Remember Ernest on Piers Morgan? He was a Sussex Squad fan for real. Where is he? I'm going to go on his page to see if he's still Team Sussex, because he was supposed to buy one of them tables, at her influential award show. The Solid Gold, when she was a Solid Gold dancer out there at that car chase. That was another day she was blaming. She was blaming the paparazzi that they almost killed her and Harry and her mama to our car chase in Manhattan.
Between spare, and then say, no, come on back, we'll take some more. But, not
in terms of the monarchy going forward. His father.
But do you not feel like it makes the entire monarchy look weak to take absolute kicks in the teeth between Netflix, between Spare, and then say, no, come on back, we'll take some more? But, not knowing confidently that things that they say in their presence might not
hit me again.
Spoken out loud to Oprah Winfrey on live television, or end up in a podcast in the future.
She's right.
I think they're protecting their brand. I think they're protecting their sanity and their mental health. Because, I can't...
There you go. That's Kinsley at her best. Work it, girl. She breaks it down. Tessa, while you trying to get on the forgiveness train, remember that they can't trust these two. And do you really want to get a slap in the face? You're talking about my Todger? You're talking about my circumcision? You're talking about my wife? You're talking about my kids? You're talking about everything that's sacred to me, and then showing texts and stuff, and all of this for this woman? And you want us to trust you? You want us to forgive? I believe that they probably have already forgiven them, because you have to forgive to move on. And I do believe that they have forgiven them. But forgiveness has nothing to do with trust. If I can't trust you, that doesn't mean I want to be near you. I can love you and still be like, get back, Jack. And that's exactly what I think William and them are doing. And they're doing a great job of it, because nobody is talking about accountability. The Sussex Squad ain't, Meghan ain't talking about she done something wrong. She constantly blames. It's everybody else's fault. It's their fault that I'm not succeeding, that I'm suicidal, that I don't want to be, that the media took me down. My father did this to me, and my sister did this, and Harry's, and the media did this, and William and Catherine did this, and they did that to me. I'm the victim. I'm the blamer too.
Imagine what it's like to say things out loud and to have those secrets whispered on international television or in a podcast or book or Netflix series. I think that they're trying to protect their future by distancing themselves.
And they're actually also doing the right thing, which is dedication to duty. That's what they're doing. They're keeping calm, they're carrying on, and they're doing what the British public and members of the Commonwealth and everyone actually seems to admire.
Something that Catherine does, like, elegance, just effortless, that Meghan will never be able to do, and that is to serve. Everything that Meghan said about Catherine was a lie. It was a lie. Catherine didn't mind sharing the spotlight with Meghan. That's what I saw. She stepped aside, had her baby real quick, and then had her kids in that fake wedding that she had. I would be a little pissed off if I was the UK people. I just spent $30 million pounds on a shotgun shotgun wedding. Something that wasn't gonna last, something that wasn't meaningful, something that wasn't real. Having people spend all this money on her shenanigans. Now she wants security. So she can run around. So
My decent people dislike dishonesty and they respect and admire.
Decent people dislike dishonesty.
They're keeping calm, they're carrying on, and they're doing what the British public and members of the Commonwealth and everyone actually seems to admire. Decent people dislike dishonesty and they respect and admire duty.
I love it. She said they dislike dishonesty, and I know Americans do. They hate to be lied to. I saw it before. It's interesting because I'm like, okay, they lie, whatever, let's move on. And no, they were like, ooh, dishonesty. I've never seen a person just flat out just continue to lie in public and say certain things that are not true, knowing that we can check it and fact check it. This is when I knew there's something wrong. When she went and hired a fact checker. Remember they had that going? Meghan has hired a fact checker, someone to check her lies. Let's check her lies. She was upset because we wasn't believing her. Well, we still don't. And I heard the fact checker left or quit or got fired.
And you actually saw that also with recent polls with regard to Prince William, of course, in the US. He was ranked even higher than President Biden and the King, and that's mainly a lot due to his dedication to duty.
Tessa is pissed. She doesn't like the fact that William is recognized over here in the United States as being, an influencer, something that Meghan and Harry will never be. It sets the tone to let them know where they stand in the United States when it comes to the royals. And Tessa's doing this. You got to watch it, guys. It's really interesting. She's like in denial or not really all excited about her pumping William up. Neither one of them. I mean, she's not happy about either one of these two ladies, Kinsley and the other lady, about pumping William up. And so she kind of shakes her head like, whatever. No, Tessa, it's true.
Higher than President Biden and the King, and that's mainly a lot due to his dedication to duty.
And Hillary, we hear a great deal from those who
Hillary.
really support the monarchy. They have a loud voice, they have a loud voice in the establishment media, and rightly so, they're proud of that institution. We don't hear from the 25% of Britons who actively want to see the end of monarchy. I don't think, by the way, William helped his cause when he didn't think, I'm going to sit on a plane for 22 hours. It is a pain in the neck, but I'm going to do it because people like the 14-year-old kid that's going to be walking alongside my son's reign will buy into
It's interesting. Once again, here she go, looking for negative. Now, Hillary just said all that great stuff about William. Kinsley broke it down to her to let her know why, first of all, he's not ready to take a vacation with Harry. And then Hillary goes on there and tells her how wonderful and how great he is and how he's not a liar. And how President Joe Biden and the rest of us thinks he's a great guy, great king or whatever. And Tessa wants to get on there and show the negative. Oh, 25 people of Great Britain that don't want the monarch anymore. What does that got to do with it? What does that got to do with this conversation? Deflect and move past it. Let's don't talk about what's real. That hurts Tessa to know that, yes, Harry's brother is winning. Let's see what else she's got to say. No, she wants to talk about how 25% wants to abolish the monarchy, which is not half. So that's great. I hope you guys never get rid of it. I love it. It gives us a reason to look in from the outside and admire. And that's what we've been doing.
Like the 14-year-old kid that's going to be walking alongside my son's.
And then she starts talking about how he didn't attend the game. So he didn't go. For whatever reason he didn't go, that was his reason. Period. I'm glad he doesn't feel. I hope that William don't get shaken up by that. He needs to, like everything else, never explain, never complain, never explain, and keep moving. Don't have people try to dictate to you, your life and what you're supposed to do and da 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 da. William, you've been doing it. Harry ain't. Harry's over here, got Tessa on here begging for forgiveness.
I think we need to be honest about is that the monarchy is operating from a position of strength. So Kinsey referred to it, wouldn't they look weak? But they have so much. Their wealth,
Well,
their
I think
status
actually
is
with
part of the
regard to the-
establishment. They can afford to give a bit. They're the ones that can give forward and step forward with the olive branch.
Oh, there it is. Did you hear that? That was Tessa saying it was their responsibility. It is their responsibility, William, Charles, and them, to say, I'm sorry again. Now, Lindsay Schofield has already broke it down to her that, listen, we have extended, didn't they invite them to the coronation? Tessa. I started knocking on it. Didn't King Charles and the family invite both of them to the coronation and one didn't show? Wasn't that an olive branch? Wasn't that a moment for her to go and take her silly self somewhere and sit down and support something other than herself? But she didn't. No, it made her look weak. It made her look petty that she didn't go because she should have showed and then she should have took the booze. No, Tessa, you're barking up the wrong section. Why don't you go have a quick conversation with Harry and Meghan about them figuring out how they want to fix this debacle, this tragedy that they put themselves in, and stop blaming everybody else for their downfalls, for their actions, for the things that they set to do and destroyed. No, they are the ones that need to humble themselves and realize that, oops, I made a mistake. Brittany. No, she's begging them to forgive them so that they can. Meghan needs it. Check this out. I realize that. She needs an olive branch. She does need that. But they've given it to her and it's too late. She had that opportunity to have it. She wants them to come to her front door and lay flowers at her steps and say, sorry, Meghan. And that's not going to happen. And as she continues to wait, her popularity continues to go down to the ground because it looks like she's the one that's messy, because she's the one that's not letting them see the kids. It's not Charles that... She's got the kids over here in America. Why don't she get on the plane and go let them see the kids? The ball is in her corner. And they have been invited or had an open invitation to the Queen's anniversary, but they busy. Okay, so there again, Tessa, they've had an opportunity, but they're not making a move. Moving on.
To it, wouldn't they look weak? But they have so much. their wealth,
Well,
their
I think
status
actually
as
with
part of the
regard to the-
establishment. They
That
can
was
afford
good. It
to
was
give a
sweet.
bit. They're the ones that can give forward and step forward with the olive branch.
With regard to that 25%, I always think it's rather interesting, though, whenever the next question is asked, and you are right, there is a movement in the UK.
Hillary, we're going to have to wrap it up there, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to hit like and share. At the end of the day, let me know what you think about the olive branch. Is it time for King Charles them to say, we're sorry? Or, come on back? Do you think that this olive, if they were to some kind of way look like they are reconciling, would that help her reputation? Okay, I'm out. Kisses.